take the experience, magnify that, and let's make that really, really compelling. Hello, welcome to CoachGrid. My name is Joe Spearden, joined here with Kirsten Davis. Kirsten, excited to be here with you today. Today, we're going to be talking about a case study of one of our clients, Lauren, and the way that she came in and the really amazing things that she brought to the table, and then how we were able to take those things and magnify them and really level them up and build something that was going to help her use that for a long period of time to go be successful in the industry that she is in. So I had the opportunity to really start that process with her. And Lauren bought a program that we were using at the time called LaunchMaster. And LaunchMaster, we've now converted into something that's even better. And we can talk more about that at the end. But in the LaunchMaster process, the beginning is a discovery process. And Lauren was a brand new coach. Oftentimes we'll work with clientele that they're to a level of success, but they've kind of tapped out. Mm-hmm. Lauren was brand new. And so she came in, and the first part of LaunchMaster is where we get to hear their story. And Lauren's story was one about health and fitness and really relationship to food. And so she had this personal experience that she shared of the ways that she had lost weight and gained it back, and lost weight again and gained it back, and doing this through surgeries and Ozempic and the different medications that are out there. And then wanting to take her experience and overcoming that and really finding success. Mm-hmm. It's like, all right, how do I turn this into coaching? Because she had the desire to help other people.
Yeah.
So where we got to start with this was getting together that initial message. How do we share this as marketing? How do we share the message? And what I loved about her was she was very clear about who she wanted to help. This wasn't just anybody that struggled with weight. This was people that had gone through this process that she had gone through and were really frustrated with where they were at, which I think is a much smaller portion of the population. Mm-hmm. And so the first thing that I was really able to help her do was, in refining that message, get really clear about who she was talking to and how she was sharing that.
Yeah.
And from there, we then got to go into, all right, we know who your ideal client is. We know what your story is. Now, how do we get them to start engaging with you? Because she wanted an app. She wanted to build an app, not just the initial thing that we'd offered, which was, a landing page or that type of stuff. And she perfectly was just ready and willing to say, all right, what do I need to do? What do I want to build here? And so we started with the funnel. And you've seen me do it 100 times. I put my hands above my head and I'm explaining literally the concept of a funnel, saying, all right, here's your social media. Let's talk about that message. Now, what's the next level down? And the next level down is that high value content offer, that thing that people are willing to exchange their information for the value that you're going to provide them.
Yeah.
And with her, we provided her a webinar, and we got to talk about, all right, what is this webinar? Why does a webinar matter? Why is this one going to be different than all of the other webinars that are out there? Mm-hmm. And as we did that together, and I helped her understand how to make one that's compelling, how to make one that feels valuable in and of itself. She had something like 70 people register for this webinar, which is amazing. If you talk to most people, I think I need to do a webinar, and they'll get 6 people, to register for it. So already, to me, this was, she's coming in here with the passion. Mm-hmm. She's coming in here with the experience. And then the cool thing that we get to do in CoachGrid is, let's take the experience and be with people that trust us. Let's magnify that and let's make that really, really compelling. And she did that process. And we talk about the next level down. All right, what's your signature offer going to be? And we come up with that plan. And a lot of this is verbiage, and a lot of this is branding and logos and colors, all this stuff. And it was such an exciting thing to get to build together with her.
Mm-hmm.
And her trusting us and her trusting, the plan. And I'll maybe kind of let you take over from there, because this was where we have the idea, and then we get to take all this and say, all right, Kirsten, here is the vision. Here is the plan. Here's how she's executing on it now.
Yeah.
And you get to go into the app building process and that side of it as well.
Yeah. And so I'll share a little bit more context about what she wanted to do and all the different elements that she wanted. So she had this webinar knocked out of the park. Like, she really just took what we said and was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And she did it and it worked. And it's like, oh, funny how when a lot of times that's the missing piece, is just okay, I'm going to do it and I'm going to trust and I'm going to have the confidence. And she really ran with it. She had her branding set up. She had the registration form, and she did it. And on this webinar, the next step of the funnel was that she was going to invite everybody into a 7-day challenge that was hosted within the app that I was about to build for her. And she had an amazing conversion rate. I think it was something like 60%. I think it was 54% conversion rate on that, from that webinar into her next thing, which I think is, we've been saying this all along, like, when you have an app, it's just more exciting. It's different. It's unique. It's different than what everybody's seeing in the coaching industry. So when you pair your story and you're vulnerably sharing your story, and everybody's expecting you to sell them something, and then you say, hey, download this app, it's intriguing. It's exciting. And so they did that. And within the app, then they found this beautiful, like, mega funnel that I had built within there. And so what I built for Lauren is that she has a dashboard homepage. And on the homepage at the top, she can run a new webinar or a new challenge, or she can put up a mini course or the next free thing, small bite-sized thing that she's running, and she can rotate those through as many times as she wants. On the back end, she just clicks activate and that thing pops onto the homepage.
Yeah.
So then the next thing down is anything that they have been engaging with. It actually opens in the app and says, like, hey, continue. So for the people that are coming back and logging in, it's continuously pulling them into the app and engaging. And then below that, there's another little promo for, hey, join this challenge. And then there's a resource library. And so they can come in and be like, oh, I want to buy a meditation bundle. And then there's a habit. So a key part of her program is habit stacking. And this is where the app really comes alive. At that point, it's basically like a landing page, but people are logging into your landing page every single day. And imagine that, like, what would that do for you if people were going to your landing page and they're excited about it and they're telling their friends, like, oh, you've got to download this landing page, right? Like, that's, again, massive. But then it starts to really come alive for the people who are actually signing with her.
Right.
And so her coaching program, the core of it with weight loss and any health journey is habits, right? And consistency. And so what we did is we created a system where she front loads all these habits that somebody will want to adopt to create a really big change in their life over time. And so each 5 days, a new habit drops. And then now they're in like a little carousel together. So now you've got day 10, you've got 2 habits circling around, and then 3 habits, and then 4 habits. And it's reminding them, and they're opening, and they can see the days that they've got a partial completion, or the days they've succeeded, or now they've got a streak, right, and they want to keep the streak alive. And then on top of that, they have their daily lesson. So this allows it to be kind of evergreen and to allow onboard clients at different times. And each day it knows when that person joined, and it's going to front load the video from Lauren on that day saying, hey, welcome in today, and here's what we're teaching. And something that's also really cool. So Lauren supplements her course with one-on-one coaching. And so each coaching call, clients are setting their own goals. And so we also built a 2-way goal tracker. So after the call, Lauren can put in her feedback, the client can put in their feedback, and then either of them, and she can turn this on or off, who does it, set the goals until the next call. And then every single day they check off if they did each goal that is set for them, and they can type in like a daily check-in, and that automatically goes to Lauren to review and see. And then when the next week comes, it says time to put in the new goals. And so there's just this portal, and this is just one of the little tabs in the app that's completely managing the unique way that she coaches. And it's also managing how many calls they have left. When they're eligible to schedule a call again, the button to schedule opens and it pings them and says, hey, time to schedule our next call. It reminds them if they haven't scheduled a call, hey, remember it's time to schedule. So that was so powerful. And
let me stop you there for a second, because that is so much, right? It would feel overwhelming if you were a brand new coach and wanted to offer all of this and had to manually fulfill on all of that, right? Like already I'm going to have these many people come through. And this is the thing that I think a lot of coaches don't realize is this: I want to be a coach and I'm going to charge this much. And this is the thing that I'm going to do. You're not set up to handle more than about 2 clients. So your goal might be the income of 10 clients, but what you haven't recognized yet is you don't have a system that can support 10 clients, let alone 100.
Yeah.
So with Lauren, because she was willing to do this on the front end, that dashboard and everything that it takes them through, none of that is manual fulfillment. None of that is anything that she needs to engage in a daily basis. And it's designed to get them to that call for the one-on-one coaching with her. And then obviously, based on what you're saying, once they're in the one-on-one coaching, a lot of that, again, becomes automated. So her ability to take on 10, 12, 20 clients is greatly increased.
Yeah.
So then her ability to succeed is greatly increased. And I think a lot of people miss out on that part of the vision. Like, oh, that seems like too much. And I don't need to do that much. Well, you need to have a funnel. And if you're not utilizing the technology that we offer, well, then it's on you to manually fulfill everything in that funnel.
Yep.
So
and all Lauren's job is do her webinar. I'm front loading everything else. Like she just has to, create the content. She has to coach, she has to teach. And then I'm taking that and I'm plugging it in. And then from there, when she gets a client, then her next job is, okay, you got a client, make sure lesson 1 is in there. And then each day that a lesson's going to drip out, make sure the lesson 2 is there by day 2. And when they schedule a call, show up for it. And really that's all the more that she needs to do. But when she gets the idea, because she hears this thing and she's like, oh, like I could really use a meditation here, or she's talking to a client and they're asking for a specific resource, she can at that time just go pop it into the library. And now every single one of the people who's ever come through her app can purchase that. And if it's a $10 thing and you have 50 people in your app, that's $500 just from a quick idea you had that took you 10 minutes to download. And that's what really changes things, is when they're logging in, these small ideas that you have that would normally just die on Instagram are hitting a audience of engaged users who are already using the really cool tools, gamification, and programs that are already inside of your app that they joined for.
Yeah. Even on the fulfillment of the webinar piece, right? Like once she's filmed that, and that was one of the things that I loved most about this app, was she can run that for 3 months now and just issue the replay. And then in 3 months, if that starts to feel stagnant, she literally clicks the button that turns that one off and the other one comes on. And like you're saying, whether that's a challenge or a mini course or whatever it is. And then she can just start rotating through those. And so it still feels fresh, feels new, it feels compelling, but it doesn't require any more of her time to fulfill on any of that stuff. Yeah.
And the best part about the back end of this, it was so funny. She was like, I was telling her about it kind of like I just told you. And she was like, oh, I'm so nervous. Like, I'm going to go inside of it. I know it's going to be a learning curve and I'm just going to dive into it. And so she dove into it. And the next day she texted me and she was like, oh my gosh, this is so easy, because it's not run of the mill course builder. It's like something that me, as somebody who's built a lot of courses and really bad course builders, I'm like, what would I want?
Right.
What would I want to be able to style, and how can I do that in a super easy way? And so I built everything to be really intuitive, and also asked her, like, we have our templated apps where it's like you can kind of get the pre-built system and then you can, add on modifications if you want. But for her, she had a little bit more of like a custom setup. And so I was actually able to build up to how she's thinking and exactly where and how she wants things to be. So that was great too.
It really is. And it's been exciting to see her launch and already begin to do really well, way more than your average new coach does, in the engagement that she's getting and the interest that she's getting and the calls that she's booking, and that it's not taking her away from her family, like can happen to so many when they hit the success point.
Yeah.
For those of you that are watching at home, maybe you're that new coach, or maybe you're a coach that's been there for a year or two, and this is still something that that you want, and maybe you haven't done yet. So if this resonates with you, if this is something that you're looking for, be like Lauren. Engage. Schedule that first call. We got to have that, and the vision that she had and us being able to fulfill on that vision, it's been great all around. We'd love to be able to do the same for you. So you can go to Instagram and find us at CoachGrid, or go to coachgrid.com and find us there. And we'd love to work together with you.